So I hope the microphone works this time because I already did this once and it wasn't recording. So simplicity. Yeah, I chose simplicity for this assignment because I found it to be really appropriate today in my life and in the world. I think it's such an important thing that it's just gone way too far away from everybody's attention. I think we really need to bring it back. I think that's super important, or we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Um, Simplicity is just lacking in the world. You see it all the time. Look around, like that's people don't really care. Luckily, some places in the world now, people are making more of an effort. I've seen this kind of cool um, video about a girl who tried for a certain amount of time, I don't remember if it was a month or so, to live with no waste, and she ended up making no more waste than it could actually fit in this little tiny mason jar, which was really cool. So some people are trying to bring awareness to it and make more of an effort, but on a general level, the world just doesn't really care about simplicity. When I remember the simplicity week we did in this course, and there was a video about Walmart and about how consumerism is kind of a machine driven by the consumers and the businesses. It's a negative spiral. The businesses want to sell, so they influence the consumers to buy, and then the consumers keep buying, so the businesses produce more to sell, and it's just really sad, negative spiral that someone needs to stop, but nobody really knows how to. I'm a business major and I hear these things all the time. I sit there, listen to how we can sell more, how we can do this and that. And I have to say, it's quite sad, really, but from hearing that and from learning these things, I've kind of got a bit turned off to those ideas. And luckily, I'm a journalism minor as well at the same time. And I have to say, I think in my life, most likely, that's the direction I'm going to go in, because it's just too much. I don't think I could live with having, unless I chose a business where a focus was on other things and not just producing to consume, I don't think that's something I could really do. So I think simplicity is really very important, and I think we need to get our eyes up to that, because the more we consume, the more we lose track of the qualities in life, and the more I think is very important. We're actually hurting the planet, we're hurting ourselves, and I think we need to look up. So simplicity in my life, I'm an international student, which means that I can see a lot of places in my life where simplicity is very appropriate. I live away from home, and obviously I live nearly on the other side of the planet. I'm from Denmark, which in Scandinavia, simplicity is it's a big thing, just kind of generally ingrained in us. It's not something that we go around every day saying let's be simple, but it is something that we just kind of live with. And coming to a place like America, I've very much got my eyes up to the other side of that. And even in Denmark, there is a lot of waste. So even the simpler places in the world still have a lot of waste. There's a lot to learn from that. And being an international student is very expensive, but my parents, in the same way that they always raised us, did not just want me to get the money and go here and never really feel the impact of it. They wanted me to know what it was like to not always just have everything. I don't come from a family that struggled with money, but I've always been raised almost as if we did, because they wanted us to learn what that was like and that you don't actually need as much. And so when I came here, my parents said, you have to work for your own money, for your own stuff. You have to keep a budget, or if you don't keep a budget, we're not gonna support you because that's not you showing initiative. And I think actually I could show my budget. I do this really. Um, I've got a budget all done out with the money that I've got, with what's my incomings, my outgoings, and I set up a food budget and a gas budget, and track everything as much as I can, really. Um, and I think one of the things that really taught me was to say, do I really need that? And most of the time, you don't need it, but you are taught that you need it. You go to Walmart, all you really came for was a $5 meal, and suddenly you've paid $25 for stuff because you're influenced, and that's just, it's sad that the world is going like that because of businesses, but that's how they make their money, and they want to make more money, so that's how it goes. But one of the things I really think where simplicity has made a mark on my life is I'm here, so I don't get to see my family a lot, and they're all very busy, so I don't get to FaceTime them a lot. So that's a very important thing to me that I don't get to have. And suddenly, everything else in comparison really kind of wilts. Like, materialistic things just don't matter as much, and that's something. The appreciation of the right things is something that I've really felt in my life. If you appreciate the right things, then simplicity comes naturally. Like, I had a pair of jeans that I've just replaced this past week because the button was falling out, the threads all over were coming undone, the jeans were literally worn out. I've had them for some years now because I appreciated them, I liked them, I loved them, I wore them as much as I could, and only now have I replaced them because they are worn out. But if you appreciate something, that's how it goes. If you don't appreciate something, then one pair of jeans doesn't matter, and you can get three more, and you want more than that, and you just keep going and going, and oh, I want this, I want that, or you go to a website, and that's a thing that I think is incredibly important to mention. People go shopping not to get what they need, which is how I was raised. My mum, she hates shopping. She wants to go shopping to get what she needs, and that's it. But most people go shopping to be inspired, or whatever they say. Like, they go shopping to see what they can find, not because there's a need, but because they want. And is that attitude in consumerism that is so dangerous, because that is where simplicity just goes straight out the window. Observations on this: one of the main things is that I've learned that no, you actually don't need that. That is what you'll find most of the time. If you actually ask yourself that question, going to Walmart every single time, when I ask myself now, do I need this? The question will most likely be no. And sometimes the question has to be yes, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you need to pick me up, but you don't always need to get this and this and this and this and this. And especially at Walmart, I mean, I can bring this back to Walmart all the time because it's such a great example of especially American consumerism. Walmart sets things up for you to buy more. And one of the things that I have learned about simplicity and contrast of it is where I'm from, the cereal aisle is about a fourth of the size of the one at Walmart. And it is some Kellogg's products, a few other brands maybe, and then some grains and some muesli. That's it, really. And I've never heard a person complain about it. But at Walmart, it's this huge aisle with all these brands, and you got at least one type of copy brand and maybe another, and this and that, and oh, you should buy this, even though that all the products are the same, really. And what I notice is just, if people didn't have the choice, they wouldn't want it, they wouldn't need it. But because they've been given the choice for so long, they think they can't live without the choice. And that's where that negative spiral really comes in. Like I go to Walmart, I get the same. I buy Strawberry Awake, I buy the Great Value brand. I've done that for a very long time. Maybe once or twice a year, I allow myself, no, once a year, maybe, actually not, I allow myself some other special type of cereal because um, we had some stuff when I was a kid, but when I was 5, my dad said we couldn't do that anymore with sugar cereal. So once in a while, I allow myself, but mainly it's just not necessary. And another thing I very much observed, which I find hilarious and just super tragic at the same time, is that people are literally throwing money away. I have friends here that I've heard say, "Oh, I don't want these coins in my wallet, so I'll just throw them out," or "Do you want them?" That to me, I can't believe people actually throw coins in the bin, and I heard that on more than one occasion. I think it's crazy. So because of that, I've made a point to pick up every single penny or quarter or whatever I ever found on the ground, ever find on the ground, because I'm here trying to be better, trying to save money, and they're just throwing them away. I just don't understand. So I think from all this, my word of summation would be appreciate. I think if people appreciate what they've got, simplicity comes naturally. If you, of course, there's some ways like waste, you are not always in control of that unless you make a different conscious effort. But especially consumerism, if you appreciate what you've got, then everything will come naturally. My parents taught us to appreciate, and I'm the type of person, I've still got stuff I bought 20 years ago. Well, I mean, I'm 22, so maybe not. So let's say 10 years ago. Um, I've still got stuff and I still love it as much as the day I bought it because there's nothing wrong with it. And that's just that's just how it is. Sometimes emotional connections can be good. I mean, don't let it go to the level of hoarding, but sometimes it's a good thing. So appreciate, be simple, live simply, help the world, help yourself.